When creating a human-computer interface, there are several design considerations the development team must take into account, such as colors, interaction, location hierarchy, messages, and typography. Colors are used to define the visual appearance of the interface. This includes background colors, button colors, icons, and text. Colors can be used to convey meaning, such as red for an error or green for a success. Draw attention to key areas like pop-up boxes or warnings, and visually group related elements. Appropriate use of color can make interfaces easier to navigate and understand. It helps users quickly identify important elements and improves accessibility, for example by using high contrast colors for readability to assist colorblind users. Poor color choices, however, such as overly bright combinations or low contrast, can make interfaces confusing or hard to read. Organizations often develop a house style, which is essentially a template that their documents and resources stick to for consistency and familiarity, and includes colors, fonts, and logos. Some companies have spent years building up their color associations as part of their house style, so they are synonymous for specific colors. If I said McDonald's, you'll think of yellow. Coca-Cola will make red spring into your mind. And CS Noobs is also iconic for black and gold, but maybe slightly less so than McDonald's and Coca-Cola. Font colors must be carefully chosen so they can be read on any background. If developing an application for a particular country or region, then cultural research should be conducted, as some locations perceive specific colors in specific ways. For example, in China, white is linked to death and mourning, and red represents luck and joy. So making a website for a wedding photographer with a white color scheme, or a funeral service with a red color scheme, would be a very bad idea. Interaction refers to how users control or respond to the system through input methods like clicking, tapping, swiping, typing, or speaking. Interfaces are designed to support these interactions through elements like buttons, menus, sliders, and forms. Interaction can be enhanced with sound effects, color changes, pop-up menus, animations, and haptics to make it a more rewarding experience for the user. Well-designed interaction makes the system intuitive and responsive. Users receive immediate feedback when interacting, for example a button changing color when clicked, which builds confidence and improves the user experience. Poor interaction design can lead to frustration, errors, and inefficiency. The target audience should be considered, for example by having clearly labeled large buttons on websites for children. Location hierarchy is about the placement and organization of interface elements based on importance. More important items, like main menus and primary actions, are placed in more visible or accessible positions, often at the top or center of the screen. Related content should be grouped together, and location hierarchy should be consistent for different device types too. For example, visiting a website on a laptop and then the same site on a phone should have a consistent layout so users can find what they need quickly. By positioning key elements where users naturally look first, location hierarchy reduces the time it takes to find and use key features. It helps guide the user journey logically and makes the interface feel structured and predictable. Developers should consider cultural differences. For example, Arabic is written from right to left, so websites for Arabic-speaking countries may use a reversed layout. Messages are displayed to provide feedback, guidance, or explanations, such as confirming actions, explaining errors, or offering help. These can be pop-ups, banners, inline messages, tooltips, or alerts. Colors, icons, and tone must be considered. Error messages are typically red, show a cross or exclamation mark, and explain clearly what went wrong and how to fix it. Help messages may be more in-depth, use the question mark symbol, and are activated by users. Typically, the user will click on an icon or button to be shown a help message when they're stuck, whereas error messages are more likely to be automatic when something incorrect or unexpected has occurred. Clear and concise help messages improve usability by reducing confusion and guiding the user through problems or unfamiliar features. Effective error messages explain what went wrong and how to fix it, reducing user frustration and supporting needs. Specific error types like 404 have meanings that debuggers can use to help solve the issue. 404 means a web page cannot be found at that specific address and may have been moved or deleted, or the URL typed incorrectly. However, it can still be quite vague, so more precise error codes are helpful. The final visual design consideration is typography. This includes the choice of fonts, size, spacing, weight, and alignment of text. Different text styles are used to indicate headings, body text, buttons, and links. Typography is often customizable, such as font type and size for text on a Kindle, allowing users to adjust its appearance based on their needs. Good typography improves readability and helps users scan and understand content quickly. It creates a visual hierarchy, for example with larger bold headings that catch attention, with smaller body text providing details. Poor typography, like very small fonts or too many font styles on the same page, can cause confusion or strain for users. Responsive design is important. This means text should adapt to the screen and resolution of the device being used. Let's look at how client requirements can affect visual design. starting with target audience and accessibility. Client requirements often specify who the intended users are, for example, children, the elderly, or professionals. Designers may adjust color schemes, font sizes, and layout complexity to suit the audience. For example, young children may need bright colors and large icons, while older users may need high contrast and larger text for readability. Then there's functional requirements. These specify what features the system must include, like login screens, dashboards, forms, or notifications. The design must accommodate these features. For example, a system with many user inputs will need a clean, well-structured layout with clearly labeled forms and buttons. Then there's device and platform constraints. The client may specify that the system needs to work on certain devices, such as a tablet, desktop, or phone, or specific platforms, like iOS or certain web browsers. Designers must create adaptable layouts using responsive design and use suitable interface elements for different screen sizes and input types. And finally, branding and color preferences. Clients may have existing brand guidelines, including color palettes, logos, and fonts. The interface must match the brand identity. This influences the choice of colors, typography, and logo placement to ensure consistency across the client's products or services.